In this Gentle Hatha class, we're going to be focusing on the hamstrings, mostly on flexibility, but also some strengthening as well. So the hamstrings, when they tend to get quite short from overuse, that's where you'll feel most of the stiffness in your legs. But the hamstrings also play a major role in the mobility of the lower back. So at times when you feel that your lower back's getting very tight, it can sometimes be due to the stiffness through the hamstrings. So through the next kind of half an hour or so, we're going to just look through kind of loosening up the hamstrings, and this may be a sequence that you may want to come back to time and time again when you're feeling tight, particularly through the lower back and the back of the legs. Okay, so starting in our usual standing position, with our feet slightly separated, toes turned in, taking the shoulders up towards the ears, pressing them back and down, and then just bring a bit of looseness to the body. So just shaking out any tightness in any of the joints or the muscles. And then when you feel the body's a little bit more open, a little bit more relaxed, start to take the chin down onto the chest to lengthen the back of the neck. Let your eyes close. And then just take the next few moments to bring your mind present. You can do this by trying to let go of all thoughts in your mind, instead of just focusing on the sounds that you can hear. Just let the sounds that you can hear build up a picture of where you are at this present moment. And then starting to connect your mind to your physical body, so feeling the soles of the feet pushing down into the mat. Become aware of any areas of tightness in the body and try and release the tension. And then connecting your mind even deeper to your body through your breath. Just start to tune into the rhythm of the breath. Start to feel the movement that's caused by the breath. And then you can gradually start to deepen the breath. So over the next 3 or 4 breaths, you're gradually building up to your full yogic breath, where you'll use almost the full capacity of the lungs as you draw the air in, and then the belly's inflating at that final moment. As you start to exhale, feel the body soften, and at the final moment of the exhale, just very gently pull the stomach muscles back towards your spine. Just keep going with that deep breath, trying to release tension in the body and the mind through the exhale. Feel energy entering the body as you inhale. Starting to incorporate some movement connected to the breath. So as you're inhaling, start to pull the shoulders up towards your ears and then press them back to open the chest. Big exhale as you let the shoulders slide down. At the final moment of the exhale, really push the shoulders down towards the ground. 2 more times, drawing the shoulders up and back with the inhale and exhaling down. On your next inhale, raise the chin, open the eyes. On your next inhale, start to take the arms all the way up towards the ceiling, lengthening through the spine and the waist as you take the arms up. As the arms come vertical, start to pull your stomach muscles into your spine, and then a big exhale, making as wide a circle as you can with your fingertips as you bring the arms back down to your side. 2 more times, inhaling. So you're moving with the breath, lengthening the body through the inhale, stretching the body wide with the exhale. And then coming to relaxation at the end of the exhale before inhaling again. And exhaling down. This time as you're inhaling and raising the arms, you're going to turn towards your right. So you're at the full twist when the arms come up vertical. As you exhale, turn back round towards the front as you're lowering your arms. Same thing, going to the left, so starting to turn as you're raising the arms. As you're exhaling, start to lower the arms and turning the body back to the front. I'm going to do that 1 more time to either side. So inhaling, turning to the right. Exhaling, turning back to the front. Last time to the left. And exhale Bring the arms down, face the front. Inhaling, taking the arms up above the head again, and this time as you exhale, you're going to flow over to the side. Inhale as you come up through the center, and then flow over to the left with your exhale. Inhale as you come up through the center. One more time to either side. Exhaling over to the left. And inhale as you come up. Big exhale as you take the arms down to the side. Okay, bring the feet a little bit closer together. You can have them right next to each other if you want, but if that's uncomfortable, have them just a little bit apart. Going to bend very gently through the knees, so the legs aren't fully straight, but they're not bent either. There's just a little gentle bend in them. And then you're going to lock the legs so they're nice and strong, so you feel the strength increasing through the quads. You're going to start to take your shoulders back and lift the chin up. And then tuck your pelvic bone forward and up, so you're starting to feel a curl in a little bit of the lower spine there. You're going to take your chin down onto your chest, and then start to curl the spine, holding here as you inhale. And then as you exhale, curl the spine all the way down. You're taking your head down towards your knees, rounded through the spine. And then holding here as you inhale, start to straighten your legs and lift the hips as high as you can up towards the ceiling as you press your nose closer to your legs. Holding here for one more full breath. Deep inhale and an exhale. And then as you're inhaling, bending through the knees, push down into the floor. Keep the spine rounded as you're lifting. As you get about halfway up, you start to uncurl the spine. As you come all the way up vertical, take your shoulders up towards your ears, press them back. Big exhale as you let the shoulders slide down. Bending through the knees again slightly, locking through the thighs. Big inhale. As you exhale, start to tuck the tailbone up and drop the chin onto the chest. Round the spine, another inhale. And then as you exhale, you're starting to roll your way down. As you get to your lowest point, start to inhale, straightening the legs, press the nose closer to the legs. Take an inhale, take an exhale, and then bending through the knees again, push the ground away as you round your spine. Big inhale. As you get halfway, start to uncurl the spine. As you come all the way vertical, take the shoulders up towards the ears. Big exhale as you take them down. Okay, separating the feet a little bit wider this time. Going to keep the back straight this time. So the feet are a bit wider. Turn the toes in, the ankles out to spread, to stretch across the sacrum there. For this one, we're going to take the arms up above the head. So we're going to use the chair if you like. So make sure that when you're at distance, that when you start to fold forwards, the hands can actually reach the top of the chair. Okay, so again, a gentle bend in those knees, so you're not forcing the knee into the back of the joints. A little gentle bend there, lock through the thighs. Big inhale as you take the arms all the way up towards the ceiling, lift the chest high. And as you exhale, keeping the back straight, bend from the hips. You're reaching all the way forward. Start to take some of the strength into your thighs. Use your core muscles. You're pulling the stomach muscles back towards the spine. And then you're bringing your hands down onto the top of the chair. Let your head drop through the arms so the crown of the head is turning towards the floor. And then on your next inhale, start to straighten those legs and lift the hips as high as you can. Holding here for another full breath. And after that exhale, you can start to bend the knees and inhale. Take the hands off the chair, push the ground away, pull the core muscles into the spine. Rising all the way up, lift the chest away from the belly button, and then a big exhale as you take the arms down to the side. Bending through the knees again. Big inhale, take the arms all the way up towards the ceiling, lengthen through the spine and the waist, and then as you exhale, start to imagine yourself reaching forward as you bend forward from the hips. Think about extending the hands all the way over the top of that chair until you come to that 90-degree angle, then place the hands down on the chair. Big inhale as you straighten the legs, lift the hips up high towards the ceiling, let the head drop through the upper arms. Come back to focus on your breath again. Okay, after your next exhale, bend through the knees and then inhale, take the hands off the chair, pull the stomach muscles in, use your core strength and the strength of the thighs to lift you all the way up. And then exhale as you bring the arms down to the side. And then just loosen through the body. Okay, we're going to come to downward dog on the chair. So this is where you're stepping back at a 90-degree angle. You have the feet and the heels, sorry, the ankles are directly underneath your hips. The hands are resting lightly on the top of the chair. You have the knees very gently bent. Just again, the legs are mostly straight. It's just to make sure that you're not pushing the knee or hyperflexing the knee, so you're not pushing it into the back of the socket. You're stretching out here. You're lifting your hips as high as you can. You're pushing the hips as far back as you can, and then at the same time stretching the arms as far forward. You're getting as much length in your spine as you can take. Okay, take one more inhale as you lift your hips a little bit higher. And then as you exhale, bend your knees as deeply as you can. Feel the belly rest on the thighs. And then as you're into your inhale, push the ground away with your feet. Straighten those legs. Lift the hips as high as you can. 2 more times. Exhaling, bend the knees as deep as you can. As you inhale, pull the ground away. You're straightening the legs and you're lifting the hips as high. Exhale, bend. Inhale as you're lifting. Okay, then move your left foot slightly more into the centre of the mat. As you inhale, sweep the right leg back and lift it as high as you can. Exhale as you lower it back down to the floor. Inhale, lift. Extend that foot away from the body so you're lengthening through the leg. So you're creating more flexibility in your right, or the leg that you're raising, the hamstring, and then the hamstring of the leg that's on the floor is increasing the strength. 2 more times. Inhale as you lift. Exhale as you lower. As you're lifting, push the heel of that leg as far away as you can. Exhale and lower. And then inhaling, you're stepping that leg back and you're holding it. Push the heel away from the body. You're in your warrior 3 balance now. Feel that you're pushing the chair forward, you're getting full extension out along that leg, right through the spine and out along the arms. Okay, take one more inhale. And then if you can take the hands onto the lower part of the chair and lift the leg a little bit higher. If that's too much for you, just stay in the warrior 3 position or start to lower the leg back down to the floor. If you're quite comfortable in the warrior 3 balance where you've lowered the head towards the floor and the leg high, just stay there for one more breath. As you're inhaling, push the heel away, and then as you exhale, start to lower the leg down. And then bring your hands up onto the higher level of the chair again. Separate the feet that little bit, and then bend your knees deeply. Take the stress away from the hamstrings and the lower back through the bending of the legs. If your arms are getting tired, you can just let the arms float down in front of you and let them dangle. Just let the crown of the head come towards the floor. If you're more comfortable with the arms up on the chair, the hands on the chair, you can have them extended out. Okay, taking another inhale. As you exhale, bend the knees as deep as you can. Inhale, start to straighten the legs. Lift the hips high. Exhale, bend. Inhale, lift hips high, straighten the legs. One more time. Straightening the legs, lifting the hips high. And then you're bringing the right foot into the centre of the mat, so it's under the centre of gravity. Inhale, stretch that left leg back, flex the foot, push the heel away. Exhale, lower it to the floor. Inhale, lift the leg, push the heel away from the body, feel the stretch along the left side of the body. 3 more times. Inhale as you lift, exhale as you lower. Inhale as you lift, exhale, lower. And one last time. Push that heel away from the body. Exhale, lower the foot down. This time, inhaling, raising the legs. Raising the left leg, push that heel away. You're in your warrior 3 balance. If you want, you can take the hands down onto the lower part of the chair and lift the leg a little bit higher. Still pushing that heel away. If you're getting tired, just bring the foot down to the floor at any time. Separate the feet and bend the knees. If you can hold here for another 2 more breaths. Okay, one last inhale. Exhale as you lower the foot down towards the floor. Bring the hands back up into the higher level of the chair. Separate the feet and then bend the knees. Feel the tension release from the hamstrings and the lower back. If you want to take the hands down so they're dangling towards the floor, you can. You can support the hands on the legs.
Turn the crown of the head towards the floor. Feel the tension release through the back of the legs and the lower back. And then, like we did at the very beginning of the session, we're going to roll our way up. So keeping the tailbone tucked up towards the belly button, the chin pressed into the chest. Inhale as you start to curl through the spine, lifting. As you get half the way up, start to uncurl the spine. You're taking your shoulders up towards your ears and you're pressing them back and down. Okay, coming a little bit more forward, so a bit closer to your chair, but still having enough space that you can bend forward. Bring the left foot into the centre of the mat, and then you're going to take the right foot in front of it so the legs are crossed. And then you're going to work your hands down the side of the chair and bring them onto the lower level. And then you can just let the head dangle down. So you're starting to feel a stretch in the hamstrings here, but also perhaps through the side of the legs. You're keeping the legs as straight as you can. If that's too much at any point, just bend the knees and then straighten them again. Just start to feel the tension release from the lower back. You may find that after a couple of breaths, you can actually sink down a little bit deeper. Focusing on lifting the hips as high as you can. Bring your focus back onto your breath. On your next inhale, just start to lift the head and the chest away from the legs. Pushing down into the chair with your hands, step your right foot back. I'm not going to go for a big stride, it's maybe only about half a metre behind. Separate the feet so they're in line with the hips. And then again, start to fold forward. So both of the legs are straight here. You might find with the forward leg, you might find that the knee starts to hyperflex again. So if you feel that the knee is pushing into the back of the joint, just bring a very gentle micro bend into the knee. You're pushing back into the heels of both feet. You're lifting your hips as high as you can and you're pushing the hips back. Again, just bring your focus back onto your breath. On your next inhale, start to lift the head and the chest. Step the right foot forward. Move the right foot into the centre of the mat, and then you can take the left foot across the front. Inhale, lift the head and the chest for a moment as you push the hips back. And then as you exhale, you can start to fold forward. Let the crown of the head fall towards the floor. Again, if there's any hyperflexing in the knees, just bring a gentle micro bend into the knees, but otherwise we're trying to keep the legs as straight as possible. And then you want to start lifting the hips higher. As you do that, feel the stretch increase in the hamstring. Feel the stretch increase across the sacrum and into the lower spine. Okay, one more full breath as you hold here. Lift the hips high. And then on your next inhale, lift the head, lift the chest away from the legs, pushing down into the hands. Remove the left leg from the front, step it back to about half a metre. Separate the feet so both feet are in line with the hips, both pressing down into both heels, both legs are straight, and then dropping the head between the arms again. And just check that you're not hyperflexing into the forward leg, into the right leg, so maybe just bring a little micro bend into that knee. But otherwise you're pushing both of the hips back the way, trying to get the extension through the back of the legs. You know, feel an extension along the rib cage and out along the arms as well, but it's more important that you're putting the stress into the legs. Okay, one more full breath here. And then on your next inhale, lift the chin and the chest away from the legs, step the left foot back to the front of the mat, separating the feet, bending through the knees, and then you can either keep the hands supported on the chair or just let the hands dangle towards the side of the legs. If you want to sway from side to side to release some tension in the legs, that's also fine. Okay, and then again we're going to roll our way up, so bend through the knees, tuck the pelvic bone up towards the belly button, chin to the chest. Inhale, start to round the spine, come all the way up, uncurling the spine, shoulders up towards the ears, pressing them back and down.
Okay, we're then going to move down onto the floor. So here's where you might want to use a belt. In fact, for the final posture that we're going to do, we're going to need a belt. So either just, if you've not got an actual yoga belt, then a traditional belt or a tie or something, but something long enough that you can basically get the base of the belt round the foot and so the length of the legs on either side. Okay. So first of all, we're going to come into a seated posture. So having both of the legs pressed towards each other, flexing the feet so the toes are up towards the ceiling and you're pushing the heels away from the body. So you're trying to create as much length as you possibly can through the legs. At the same time, you're trying to create as much length going vertical as you can through the spine and through the front of the body. And then instead of forcing the shoulders back, just focus more on rotating the top of the shoulders out the way so you feel the stretch across the front of the chest. The palms are pressing lightly into the floor to help lift the chest up away from the belly button to create that length there. As you're pushing the legs away, just lift one foot at a time and press the heel away from the body to create that length. Okay, so we're going to go into a forward fold. Now if you want, you can use the belt, so you can loop the belt around the base of the feet. So that's going to help to pull you forward and along the legs. Or if you prefer, you can not bother with the belt and you can just use the hands on the legs to help kind of pull you forward. Okay, so we're going to try and keep the legs, the feet as flexed as possible. So from here, lifting the chest all the way up, either pulling on your belt or walking the hands down the legs. Keep the chest raised, so you're keeping your lower back flat. So you're not kind of curling through the lower back at all. You're lifting the chest up, and then at the same time you're starting to fold forward, but you're focusing more on pushing the chest as far along the legs as you can. So either pulling on the belt, keeping the chest raised, you'll really start to feel the stretch across the lower back here and also along the hamstrings. If you're not using the belt, you can have the hands on the legs. We're keeping the chest raised for this one. So it's keeping the length in the lower back. We're just lowering slightly, keeping the chin parallel to the floor, the eyes looking forward. Keep the toes coming up towards the ceiling. Feel that you're pushing the heels of the legs away. Make sure that you're not holding your breath. Deepening through the breath. After holding here for a little while, you might find that you can go a bit lower or a bit further along the legs. So big inhale, lift the chest a bit higher again, and then as you exhale, you can reach a little bit further forward along those legs. Keep pushing the heels away. If the tension gets a little bit too much, simply come out of the fold and just bend the knees and just give the legs a little bit of a shake. Holding here for one more full breath. And then on your next inhale, you can just start to walk the hands back or releasing the belt. Come upright. Just take the soles of the feet together and just give the knees a little bit of a bounce just to release the tension from the lower back. Okay, we're going to go into that one more time. So again, it's up to you whether you're working with the belt or whether you're just coming down using the hands instead. If you want, so there is the option to create more length in the spine. So instead of just walking the hands down or pulling on the belt to kind of pull you down, you can also take a nice big inhale, taking the arms all the way up over the head, and then using that to help lifting the arms, to help lift the chest as you start to reach all the way forward. Okay, so just taking whichever version that you want. You can try one, you can try with the arm raised, and then if that doesn't work for you, then you can go back to the belt or just to using the hands along the legs. Okay, so we're all starting together with a nice big inhale, whether you're raising the arms or not, you're lifting the chest up away from the belly button, and as you're exhaling, you're starting to reach all the way forward. Focus less on the lowering, focus more on taking the chest further down the legs. And then when you get to the lowest point, you're either holding onto a very, very short belt or you're holding onto the calves of the ankles. If you're able to get your hands round the feet or the hands onto the toes, you can use the hands pulling on the toes to help keep the feet flexed. Okay, we're going to take one more inhale. Lift the chest a little bit to lengthen that back. And on this time, as you exhale, going to start to curl the spine that little bit and take the head closer to the legs. Still pushing the feet away from the body to lengthen through the legs. You're using the hands or the belt to help pull the chest further along. So you're lengthening through the spine. Bring your focus back onto your breath again, deepening the exhales to try and release the tension. Okay, one more full breath, and then we're going to use our inhale to rise up. So starting to let go of the legs or the belt, take the arms out in front. Big inhale as you start to stretch all the way up towards the ceiling. And then exhale as you take the arms down to the side. And then bring the soles of the feet towards the floor and just let the legs shake that little bit, release the tension from the back of the legs. If you're feeling that there's a lot of tension in the lower back, just come into a rounded spine where you're just dropping the head towards the floor. You're allowing the lower area of the back to round and just relax that little bit after the long stretch. Okay, and then getting ready to lie down on the floor. So this one is where we're going to use the belt. So we're going to pull the right knee in towards the chest. Just have your left leg extended. Have the left foot flexed, so you're pushing the left heel away from the body. The toes are up towards the ceiling. And then you can place your belt or your tie round the sole of the foot. And try and get the ball of the foot rather than the arch. So the stronger area of the foot is the bit that you're pulling against. And then once there, make sure that you've got your foot pretty much in the centre of the belt, so you've got kind of the same amount of length on either side of the foot. So you're pulling the hands are quite close together on the belt for the moment as you pull the knee back in towards the chest. Really start to pull that knee in, give it a really good squeeze into the chest, feel it as tight as you can. And then on your next inhale, let the belt thread through the hands as you start to push the foot up towards the ceiling. You're pushing the foot against the belt and your hands are sliding down the belt, but pulling on the belt to hold the leg in position until your elbows come to rest on the floor. And then you're really pushing that belt away with the foot, lifting the heel high up towards the ceiling. Make sure that you're still breathing, so you're focusing on your breath. And then if you feel that you've still got a bit more flexibility in your leg, then just start to pull the leg a little bit closer, using the hands pulling against the belt. If the leg is already at its full maximum and you've only got it to sort of half the distance of coming up, that's fine, don't worry. Just as long as you feel that you're pushing the belt away, if you've not managed to get the leg vertical, all that you're focusing on is pushing the belt away to feel that you're getting extension through the leg. If there's too much tension in the leg at any time, just gently bend the knee, and then when you feel ready, you can push the leg away again. So it doesn't matter to what height that you've pulled the leg, or even if you're starting to pull it back towards the body, you're pushing away through the belt. Okay, taking one more inhale, and then as you exhale, start to walk the hands up the belt again. Start to pull the knee in towards the chest, and then extending the length of the belt again, push the leg away so it's coming horizontal this time, and then placing that right leg back down on the floor, and then unhook the belt. Flex the foot of the right foot, push the heel away, put the toes up towards the ceiling. Start to bend the left knee in towards the chest, and then wrap the belt round the ball of the foot. Keep the belt quite short at this stage, your hands are quite close together on the belt as you pull the knee into the chest. And then a big inhale as you start to push the belt away, lengthening through the belt as you take the leg up towards the ceiling, or if not as high, then pushing at least away. Whatever position that you've got the leg, just focus on pushing the ball of the foot into the belt, pushing the heel away from the body. Then you can bring the elbows down to relax on the floor. If you want to increase the flexibility a little bit more in the hamstrings, start to pull the leg closer to the chest. If that's too much, just let the leg float away a little bit, but still push that belt away. If it gets too much at any point, just bend the knee, and then when you feel ready, extend the leg again. Okay,
One more inhale, push the belt away. And then as you exhale, bend the knee in towards the chest. Start to walk the hands up the belt that little bit as you pull the knee into the chest. And then extending the leg again, but this time horizontally. You're pushing the belt away horizontally. And then you lower the left leg to the floor. Unhook the belt. And take the belt away. Hug both knees into the chest. Have a good rock from side to side. So you're massaging the spine into the floor. And then pressing that lower back into the floor. Place one foot at a time onto the mat. Press your hands down into your hips to keep that lower back connected to the mat as you slide one leg out at a time. Let the legs separate. Let the ankles flop to the side. Taking the arms away from the body, push the shoulders down away from the ears, bring the chin onto the chest that little bit. And then just let the tension melt away from the body. So if you feel that you're pushing the shoulders away from the ears, you're creating tension, you're pushing the heels away from the body, and then a big relax. Just let all that tension go. None of the muscles should be taut in any way. And then just a quick scan of the body, just to find if there's any other areas of tension or if there's a joint that's lying a bit awkwardly. Bring a bit of movement until you find more comfortable position. Release tension through the face, through the jaw, cheek and the brow, through the neck. And then once you feel that the body's fully relaxed, just come to focus on your breath again. Deepen your breath, but start to slow it down. Feel that you're releasing tension out through your exhale. Feel the rise and the fall of the belly. Keep your mind connected to that rhythm of the breath. Feel the energy enter the body as you draw the breath into the lungs. Feel all the muscles soften and find that you're slipping down into a deeper relaxation through your exhale. If you want to stay in the relaxation, just focusing on the rhythm of your breath for a while longer, just continue to keep your breath deep and continue with the long, slow inhales and exhales. If you find that you're ready to come out of the final relaxation, you can gradually let your breath become more shallow. Taking 2 or 3 breaths to come back to your natural shallow breath. Once the breath is back to its natural form, start to turn your focus away from your breath, bring your awareness back into your physical body. First feeling the areas of the body that are contacting with the ground, so pressing down into the ground. Start to bring some very gentle movement into the body. And when you feel ready, take a long stretch, inhaling as you're stretching. And a big exhale out through the mouth as you release the stretch. Have a sigh or a yawn. Take another inhale and a long stretch. And again, a big exhale out through the mouth as you release the stretch. And hugging the knees into the chest. Again, a rock from side to side. And then when you feel ready, you can roll over onto your left-hand side. Lie there for as long as you like. If you feel that you need to relax here for a while, just stay here. But if you are ready to sit up, just make sure you come up very, very gently, allowing your body to acclimatise to being upright again. Stay seated for a moment or two, or again longer if you prefer. Just
Just allowing your body to adjust to being upright. And then when you feel ready, you can stand up.